afternoon YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. Now, as part of my little series of jobs that I'm doing on the bike, I'm now on to the electrics, as you might have seen if you've watched other videos. Now, today I'm going to be installing this Givi system. It's a power hub. It actually comes in two parts. So the idea of this is I can run a little bank of USBs inside my tank bag. Now, you may or may not have seen in a previous video I've been hooking up this Innovv Power Hub here, and this system here is going to be hooked up directly to that as well. In the S110, yeah, it comes like this. Now, I could run a separate little USB bank that was probably cheaper, but this is, you know, designed for the purpose. It's got these little connectors and stuff that are going to be completely waterproof. If I'm going to be travelling in this bike any length of distance, then as you know, I'm carrying laptops and GoPros and you know, gimbals and cameras and all sorts of stuff. So I need to be able to charge things on the go. You want to put this in an area where it's easily accessible, but it's out the way, essentially. Now, I've been thinking about possibly cable wrapping it onto this little wire braided hose, but I've changed my mind actually. I'm going to actually directly connect it to the stem of the bike there. I'm going to use extra long cable wraps. That's a great position for that, I think. Now, you could put it back here, I guess. I was thinking about putting it here and then running it into the tank bag over the tank. Front or back, I guess it's your preference. I just prefer to have this up here and then have the wires all out of the way. Removing this fuse, this is a 5 amp fuse. I don't need two fuses, yeah. I've got these inline fuses with my power hub system. So I'll just make sure that it's a 5 amp fuse that's in the right connector for me. I've run it down the frame, and then I've actually taken it under the frame here, yeah, to bring everything to this side where my wires are going to be. Yeah, and again I'll just cable wrap that and make it nice and neat. So I'm going to be attaching this one to USB 2, which again is part of my little system. Right, so here we are back at the desk again. I've got my tank bag here, we've got a little hub, and I'm going to look at how to install this into the bag. Pretty straightforward, guys. You get this odd looking little thing here. This actually separates and goes through the bag itself, or the box that you're using. I've also got this little guide, and that shows you where to mark, or you can use this to mark or cut, or where you're going to put the hole through the bag or the box that you're using. And of course we've got the sort of waterproof cables. This, I guess, is where the magic happens. You've got the 3 little USB ports here, this little outlet here. I suppose you could use that for like a laptop or something. It also comes with sort of Velcro. Now I've just gone ahead and I've already stuck that on there, which was a bit of a blunder, because I don't know exactly, you know, I might have wanted to put it on this side, for example. Anyway, it's on there now. Mosko Moto Nomax tank bag. I actually did an install video on this. I'll put a little link somewhere towards the end of this video if you want to have a look at that. Look at this area here, guys. That's already, it's got a little Velcro tab in there. That's actually designed for a cable to pass through there. So I'm not going to be cutting any holes in this tank bag. I'm going to feed this through here. This tank bag, as it is at the moment, is not waterproof, but it's certainly water resistant. You see it's got this material inside. It's also got a waterproof cover, so if it's really torrential, I can put the cover on there. But even in quite heavy rain, I've never really felt my electrics get soaked in this bag. They've been damp, certainly, but never to the point where anything was damaged. A different areas where I could sort of Velcro this inside the bag here. But to try and keep the cables tidy, what I think I'll do is I'll actually Velcro it inside this little pocket here. I think that's pretty neat there, and it means that I can zip up all these little cables out the way if I'm not using them. Yeah, or alternatively I can have them out. So you can let me know in the comments, folks, if this is something similar to what you yourself have done. Let's pull up somewhere and we'll have a little look at what's going on with the electrics in this bag. Look at that. It's a bit muddy, but that's alright. My first observation is that this is a good spot for this. One of the places I'd been looking at was down here, but to be honest, if I'd put it there then it'd be getting in the way of my leg. The cable's just a really good length for that. Right, let's open this up and have a look. Okay, so let's get this to a point where we can see them. The bike's off at the minute, so none of these are on. You'll have seen in a previous video that I installed a little power hub in here. If you haven't, then I'll put a little link towards the end of this. But that means that there's a 10-second delay between me turning the ignition on and that power hub allowing electricity to go to any of the auxiliaries on here. The reasons for that are pretty obvious. But as we can see now, this is working perfectly. This is charging up quite nicely. My little Insta360 batteries are charging, and so are my GoPro batteries there. When we turn this off, again, the beauty of this power hub system, see, these are still charging. So if I left this on accidentally and I was just hooked up to my battery, for example, then I could easily kill the battery. But after 10 seconds you can see that this has turned off my auxiliaries here. There we go, plug that in. You can see this is now charging. Obviously it doesn't need to, it's at 91% here. It's actually really nice here. It's nice and peaceful. Now there's houses here, but this little road, 200 yards up the road, runs to a dead end. It actually runs to a farm track. I don't know who it belongs to, but maybe closer to the summer I'm going to come up and ask around to see if I'm allowed to ride around up there. I'm sure it'll be alright. I find that, don't know if this is the same everywhere, but certainly here in Scotland, if you ask politely, knock on a farmer's door, they tend to say yes, go ahead, just don't scare the sheep. I'm pretty sure that most people will make do with like a 12-volt socket, maybe a couple of USBs for their mobile phone and their GPS, maybe even less than that, you know. Maybe your mobile phone is your GPS. On that subject, I like to keep my mobile phone on my tank bag just to reduce those vibrations. I'm a little bit paranoid about it. You know, obviously it's also waterproof. My only concern is having the phone in here covered in the summer, because I was living in Thailand, living in Indonesia and stuff like that, then your mobile phone would get extremely hot in the sun because there's no airflow if you've got it inside a case or a cover. So I'm really quite interested to find out a solution for that. You know, are people using quad locks or whatever to put it on their handlebars, and is that working for you? Importantly, has it ever destroyed your phone? Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. I really hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up, subscribe down below, maybe even hit the notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video to YouTube. If you want to watch another install or a modification, or you want to see me riding out somewhere around the country, then have a look at one of these here, and I'll see you in the next one.